I couldn't be more excited to be part of this amazing opportunity in Sri Lanka. And the reason why I'm excited is because I see an opportunity, an amazing opportunity, because of your attitude, your thought process, and the amazing leaders that you have in country. Whether we talk about leaders like within Microsoft, like Harsha and the team, whether we talk about in the startup community, leaders like Sanjeeva and Julfa and Pygmy, whether we talk about leaders in the industry and technology domain, people like Ramesh, the team at John Kills, or at MAS with the team, with the amazing team there, that see the way I perceive and I see Sri Lanka is the time to get excited, the time to get ready for the next digital decade. What we know is that the next digital decade will be more global and more digital than ever. And the reason why we believe this digital decade will bring together three laws that used to be independent from each other. The law of connectivity through Meta-Calfer, the law of compute through Moore from Intel, and the law of Shannon in capacity of cloud. When compute, connect, and cloud come together, digital is born. And with the new initiatives coming up with 5G, with the cloud availability, and obviously our sheer ambition to deliver digital, this is where everybody in Sri Lanka should get excited about. And I wanted to show you a picture about the opportunity. This is Vatican in 2003. People are waiting for the elected Pope to come out after the white smoke is risen. And this is few years later, embracing digital at scale. You can see how many screens, how many devices are now becoming part of our daily life. And if there is one thing you should be excited, is this writing on the wall of a coffee shop I used to go when I was in Silicon Valley every single morning. And it says that it takes one person, one laptop, and one internet connection to make $1 billion. And when you think that deeply in your mind, you are able to reveal and harness opportunities from nowhere, from everywhere and nowhere. Because now, with our Microsoft Cloud, I'll talk a little bit about Microsoft, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's important as a developer or as an innovator to realize the opportunity that we have today in our hands. Anything that has to do with infrastructure, anything that has to do with digital services, data and AI, business applications, security, everything is in our hands to be able to develop an application in a matter of minutes. If you think 20 years ago, 25 years ago, the ability for you to create an application was not as simple. You couldn't just put a few things together and start creating digital impact or global impact. But now, with the rise of clouds, the sophistication of clouds, and importantly, the ability to change our ways of working from years to seconds, to test efficacy, complexity, delivery, and put them all together in order for us to deliver an outcome has changed a lot. In fact, our CEO, a year and a half ago, wrote this. In 2 years of digital transformation, we saw it in only 2 months. Because the sheer impact of COVID forced enterprises, startups, and citizens to start embracing digital at scale. How we are embracing digital to communicate, to collaborate, to co-create, to co-innovate, it now has become that digital thread that brings us together in the digital and physical world. Every business is becoming digital. If you think about it as business owners, even if you're coming from the most traditional space, you realize digital start touching every aspect of your business, whether it's data-driven decisions, whether it's interfaces to connect with customers, whether it's internal meetings, whether it's exposure to the world. Business is becoming digital at scale. And because of the sheer amount of technology, ideas, and capabilities, in reality, Digital is not a problem of technology. It's actually a management challenge. And with that, I wanted to introduce you, as I was thinking in Sri Lanka, the 5 opportunities that I believe are really, really integral into the success and the energy that Sri Lanka can bring to the world. I call this Web 5.0. We all heard of Web 3.0 with NFT, blockchain, but I wanted to give a different view of how we define web in the new digital era. And I thought about 5 dimensions inspired by Professor Bergkamp in Boston University, 5 dimensions that define the definition of web in nowadays. Machine web, social web, real-time web, media web, and mobile web. And the interesting thing about this era is that now those webs are not individually siloed between them, but now they are interconnected. Let me take you through a story to see how all those pieces are coming together, but most importantly, how we need to adapt the business model that we inspire today to the business model that is creating value tomorrow. Let's take a moment and think. The most successful companies in the world today are the companies that they have managed to recreate their business model. Let's think about Microsoft. We used to be a pure license one-up business. We completely transformed the way we operate, the way we offer, and the way we embrace the market. Let's think about companies like Pygmy. They have been transforming the entire industry of mobility by offering a differentiated business model, whether it's subscription, risk and reward, and so forth. If you think about the real estate business, if you think companies like Airbnb and so forth, what they have really done is they have shifted the value of the business model from a closed business model to a more open business model. Therefore, if we start combining the 5 webs with the 3 horizons, we start getting the reality of the digital world. But let's talk about machine web. In our Microsoft report, we say by 2030, there will be more than 50 billion devices connected to the internet, and 90% of the data will be created in the last 2 years. Imagine the amount sheer of data that all those devices are creating. And we will have opportunities, and we start experiencing even today what we call computer AI on wheels connected to the internet. I wanted to give you that amazing example of how technology, software, and social comes together to create one outcome. One fine day, September 20, the Tesla owners online in Twitter, they actually asked Elon Musk to add one feature to the car. Now think about it. If we're thinking about a traditional vehicle opportunity, the vehicle industry, that would have been something that we have never thought about. People through Twitter are asking an owner that owns a traditional business like a car to add software-based features to the car. And guess what? The owner replies, fine, we'll do it. 2 weeks later, when you open your Tesla screen, you actually have waypoints being offered to you as a service. And that's the transformation we're living. Or the work we're doing with Cruise and GM as Microsoft, really redefining a complete digital twin of the entire car and really bringing together every digital and physical aspect in a co-emerged world. And that goes beyond just the cars. It's talking also about industrial. You guys are building an amazing new port city. You are actually rethinking how you should set up your cities. I think that is something that pushing the boundaries in the minds of ourselves and the machines. Because whether it's about building a new city with solar or wind power, and now we can model that using digital twins, or whether it's to define an engine or an industrial space as a digital representation, now the ability to simulate becomes so much easier. For example, in this particular case, we're working with few cities that they wanted to understand what is the impact of flood in the way we construct, how we can construct in order for us to get the most sunlight in the day, and how is possible for us to avoid shadow areas in order for us to have better luminosity for energy efficiency. Being able to model all that is just something that is never heard before. During the next decade, we will see the greatest deployment of machine web all around us. Whether it's city, whether it's cars, whether it's industrial estates, we will see digital and digital capabilities being pervasive in the way we describe machine web. Mobile web, that's the second pillar. Of course, now we see 3 billion smartphones around us. And what we see is great obsolescence and great adoption at the same time. Devices are becoming obsolete, and at the same time, new devices are getting adopted. And the interesting thing about this inflection point is that now, more than ever, we have more mobile devices than actual PCs and laptops. And moreover, we have new form factors that have utility. You can pay, you can check your health, you can check services, you can check appointments. And now we have even newer form factors, right? Where you can actually have smart rings, where you can connect in style, you can call and so forth. So innovation never sleeps, never stops. And even we have companies like Live Signals. I'm super proud to work with Live Signals because they're creating a patch in less of $1 to get 6 clinical grade cardiac, heart signals right off your chest, and avoid the requirement of having very expensive devices, especially if you are in remote or situations where it's very hard, like COVID, for instance, to get signals from people. So you have all these innovators like Ravi in Live Signals that they're thinking, how can I create the next wave of innovation that will not only be cool, but it will also be meaningful. And we have, like in this case, our friends at NUHS, where they're using HoloLens to embrace healthcare in a completely different way. There is this amazing example at NUS that there was a surgery of a person that had the heart at the right side. Now, before HoloLens, that particular heart had to be, heart surgery had to be choreographed to the point. Now you can simulate it in the HoloLens and understand what is the procedure that you need to follow, because now all the organs are shifted 180 degrees. Think about this amazing innovation. Or in the case of New Zealand Airways here, where a person wears HoloLens to understand in business class, how is the customer's feeling? When was the last time he flight? Is he anxious? What is his emotion? What is his sentiment? And also his flight details. That will be new ideas and new capabilities that we all should be excited. So the digital decade on the mobile web dictates that every sector will be impacted, and we will see significant shifts in the features and in the use of mobile apps. Number 3, social webs. Nowadays, we have a new form of social. I was really impressed, and LinkedIn obviously is a company that Microsoft acquired, to see the growth of LinkedIn and the LinkedIn connections and the services that LinkedIn brings from learning, connections, professions, jobs, coming together in one single platform. A new form of social. Or even more exciting, the way we develop code. 94 million developers are on GitHub. And in this opportunity of having so many developers, now we have the ability to discuss, to request, and also, that's amazing, create code without the use of humans. You can now, with Autopilot, it's called this new feature Autopilot, you can actually create services and code using AI and open repositories on GitHub. And of course, thinking a little bit about the business side, now you can have, of course, B2B2C type of services, new business model again, or through Facebook or other social platforms. But also you can have amazing services like Patients Like Me, a social network that is really intent to bring people with the same disorders or the same pathogenic type of situations with you and others. Patients Like Me is an incredible company And it allows people, almost 1 million people, members, harnessing the power of their health insights through shared experience. And that's the new type of social web that we see coming together. So social collaboration to leverage expertise in our network will become mainstream during the digital decade. Media web. And this is, of course, something we all know, how Netflix has replaced linear TV, how now applications and gaming becoming proliferated and urbanized and sort of democratized, but at the same time, how at internet scale, now we can transmit TV services that we have never been able to do before. 10 years ago, Super Bowl in US, 100 million concurrent users was never able to be watched nonetheless than linear TV. Now you can do this on internet. And now what is the next evolution is the business model. We signed a partnership with Netflix because now in US, as a first country, we're offering advertisement-based Netflix service. No more subscription, you can actually watch an advertisement and watch the film. So we see disruption happening, not only changing the media landscape, but also changing the model of the media landscape. Rich media will become the norm of communication, collaboration, and learning in the digital decade. And I was so happy because 2 weeks ago, we had few customers from Sri Lanka in our Microsoft office, and it was the first time that we noted with the CEOs the ability to do Microsoft Mesh, the ability to have people collaborating in the virtual world as if they were physical. So this is the new definition of physical and digital coming together. And now it can become more immersive, more entertaining, more collaborative, and more experiential in terms of learning. And we're creating different services. You can actually, present. You can actually solve a problem together, all coming together as an amazing experience for us to interact. The fifth dimension is what we call real-time web. And real-time web is basically the era, and I think it was a beautiful article in Silicon Valley from Anderson Horowitz that called the era of the feedback loop. If you think about it, all as users, every single time we order something, we will actually try to figure out when is the car coming, when is the food coming. It's all about feedback loop. And this is where some companies have taken that to the next level. Whether it's PickMe and the amazing work that the team is doing with service-aware mapping and so forth, and all the new services, whether it's companies like Grab that they're really redefining the mapping area, how we take 360-degree view video, how we stitch together, how we provide services at the right time and at the right place with the right intent. That is the era of the feedback loop. And the interesting thing about the era of the feedback loop, it has no boundaries. It has a global scale because it's digital. And if we move away a little bit from those type of services, even when we work on a mall or we work anywhere else, be able to deliver services at the right time, at the right place with the right intent has always been a challenge, and now it becomes reality. Whether it's advertisement, whether it's offers, whether it's vouchers, whether it's gaming, whether it's telemetry, whether it's services from ordering something, real time has become the expectation, not just a wish list, but the expectation of the users and the citizens today. In real-time web, similarly to the other webs, at its backbone, it has what we call data. And for the longest time, we have been thinking data and big data as the solution to our problems. But as we mature, we're realizing data leads to information. And information leads to knowledge. And knowledge leads to action that ultimately gets us result. The most sophisticated organizations, they have undergone this journey from data to information. And now every single time you talk to them, they talk about business outcomes, results. And that is the angle that we as Microsoft as well try to help our partners and transform companies and empower everyone and anyone in this world to achieve more by understanding insights, knowledge, and action in order to achieve results. So the 5 webs are coming together, whether it's machine, whether it's social, whether it's mobile, whether it's media, whether it's real-time web, they are coming together, through those examples to understand how, for example, patients like me, social, can actually instruct companies like the patch I talk about in live signals, in order for us to have maybe different machine learning algorithms for the heart, in order for us to be able to understand and get educated through media web, to be able to orchestrate a machine at machine web in a real-time way, in order for those 5 webs to come together. And while we're innovating in technology, we should not forget about the business model. Whether it's real-time, whether it's media, whether it's mobile, whether it's social, and whether it's machine. Let's understand how we manage the current business model, how we adapt the current business model to satisfy the current business requirements, but also for the most innovative and the ones who will thrive in the next digital decade, how we will create future business models to disrupt and create value sustainably. In order to achieve that, and this is something that I really got inspired when I talked to Professor Venkat at Boston University, was that the critical denominator of the digital decade is the digital DNA. And when I asked him, what defines digital DNA? He told me 3 things: speed, scope, and scale. Because no matter where you are, whether you're in Sri Lanka, in a garage in Silicon Valley, in Sunnyvale, or in France, or in Greece, or anywhere you are, if you put your mind in the right scope, if you use the tools that they are provided from the hyperscalers and Azure and all the platform players, and you bring it with the right speed, there is no chance for you not to have the right scale. Because now with cloud and 5G and connectivity and services, the scale and adoption only depends on the appreciation of people of your service. So defining that digital DNA, getting that scope, speed and scale is the digital denominator of our success. And I wanted to leave you with this. It's a beautiful saying from John Maynard Keynes. And he always in my mind, every single time I meet a customer, every single time I meet a partner. The difficulty lies not so much in developing new ideas. It really lies in escaping from old ones. So from that, I wanted to really thank you. I'm really truly honored to be part of Sri Lanka's digital decade and digital ambition. And you can count me in your efforts and your plans to innovate in Sri Lanka. Once more, I thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diomedes Kastanis. Indeed, the message from him: 1 person, 1 laptop, 1 internet connection, $1 billion.
Indeed, Tharindu, what a game changer, what an equalizer.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special message from a very special individual. His name is none other than Mr. Satya Nadella, the Chief Executive Officer of Microsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, a very special message from a very special individual.
You are the change agents who make doing more with less possible. Less time, less cost, less complexity, with more innovation, more agility, and more resilience. And it all comes down to how we can help you do this with the Microsoft Cloud. And today we're going even further. When it comes to our operational databases, Azure Cosmos DB will now support distributed relational data with support for native PostgreSQL. We fundamentally believe that AI will not only amplify what we can do, but also augment our curiosity, creativity, and imagination. We're bringing the power of DALL-E to Azure OpenAI Service. Designer is your personal design generator. It creates new designs that the world has never seen before and that are uniquely yours. And we are turning low code into no code with the power of AI. You can describe what you want to automate and it'll generate suggested flows to jumpstart your flow creation. The killer app, of course, for Teams is the Teams app platform, and how it has become the organizing layer for all applications you can use to run your business. And I'm very excited to announce that Cisco will become a Microsoft Teams Room certified device partner. We want to help you turn your space into a place. That's why we're introducing a new connected workplace category and announcing Microsoft Places. I'm also very excited to introduce Edge Workspaces, a complete new experience which enables everyone working on a project to see the same set of websites, web apps, and files in one place so that they can stay on the same page. We're introducing more than 100 updates across the Microsoft Cloud in order to help you do more with less.